Hi, I'm Abra with HappymakeryArt. I come to you with some beautiful flowers and a simple sketchbook page that we're going to make together. I'm going to draw from these flowers, but you can draw from these as well, or you can pick your own flower or just a leaf to get started. We're going to talk about contour drawing, so we're drawing the edges of the flowers, and then we'll go in and add some details. And then I kind of go do a speed through painting, so you can kind of just enjoy that. But the point is to slow down, relax. And so if you're here, just take a deep breath, grab a cup of coffee, and give yourself, 5 to 10 minutes, and let's get started. All right, today I'm doing a quick sketchbook drawing. I'm gonna draw these little bitty flowers. I think it would also be really pretty to draw the whole bunch, but I've never looked really closely at these flowers, so I thought it would be fun. So they're little. I'm gonna draw them bigger. So I'm just looking at the contour lines, which are just the edges of the flower. So I'm just looking at like the most important lines, and I'm trying to kind of ignore the details for the moment. It can be really easy to get sucked into the details, and sometimes it's fun to just focus on the details. But just for today, for this sketchbook practice, I am just trying to focus on the main lines. And this little flower is so teeny tiny and delicate. And I just love, getting a chance to draw it, because I would never probably sit here and stare at all of the tiny details of this flower if I was not drawing it. So I, highly recommend this just to relax. And if you're doing this at home, probably no one else is going to see your drawing. I know it can feel intimidating to start drawing. We might compare ourselves to kind of our sketchbooks to the famous artists' sketchbooks. And while those are lovely and beautiful, yours can be its own thing. And you never know. Maybe one day there'll be people looking at your sketchbook and admiring it. But I think it's nice to just draw for the sake of drawing, for the sake of looking really closely at things. To me, it's kind of like meditation. It's almost like a form of meditation, because I'm just focusing on what's there. I'm not judging it. I'm not, trying to change it right then. I'm just focusing on what's there. Okay, so I've got one flower down. It's kind of neat. I've got this one that's all, I don't know if you can see it, that's all curled up. It's going to be kind of tricky for me to draw, I can tell, but I'm going to try. If you're drawing a flower, I would recommend starting with the simplest flower you can find. And a great recommendation that someone else came up with is actually, instead of drawing a flower, to start with a leaf, or a small branch with some leaves. But just start simple, and you can always go more difficult, but it can be intimidating enough to start drawing. And so it's a good idea to make it easy on yourself. This little bunch of flower petals doesn't look like much right now. They're just all curled up. Okay, maybe I'll draw one more And I invite you to draw along. Now notice I'm making these all different sizes. That's okay. You're welcome to do the same. And I hope that you can see this well since I'm using a pencil. I tend to draw lightly until I feel more confident with my lines. I like to sketch things in very loosely and then kind of slowly refine my lines if I want to. Sometimes I just stop with just a sketch. And then sometimes I like to refine and add in, you know, lots of shading and stuff like that. It just kind of depends on my mood and how much time I have and that kind of thing. So I think the important part is to, if you can, figure out what your goal is. Are you just wanting to sketch for the fun of it, or are you wanting something finished that you can maybe give as a gift or hang on the wall? So just kind of decide that if you can, and that way, you know, you can have your expectations set and not be disappointed if you know, if you end up not having a finished piece. If that wasn't your goal in the first place, then perfectly fine. All right, that's it for now. All right, so now I'm speeding things up. I'm using an ultrafine tip Sharpie to go over the most important lines and just a few of the details. So I'm doing that for all of the flowers, and then you'll see me go in with my watercolor. And so I'm just using a big watercolor brush that has a nice fine tip so I can get details if I want. And I'm going in with water first, and then with my watercolor I mixed purple and red together to get this color. And then you'll see I go in and I remove a little bit of the pigment from some of the flowers to make a lighter area in the flower, and then I go back in with another just little layer of watercolor towards the center and then the edges of the flowers to just kind of give it a little variety and a little bit of pop. And you know, most things are not just one color. And then I thought, you know what, this would look way better if it had some green in there. So I went in and drew some of the leaves and then kind of made some leaves up and went in with some green, a little bit of blue to fill them in. All right, subscribe so you can do more drawings with me. I'd love to see you again.